Hello and happy Friday Eve from Radically Rational and RadicallyRational.com. At the very top of my list of things for which I am very grateful on this brisk Thursday morning, it's that I'm not Mr. Eastman. Because if you look at everybody, either at the center or the periphery of all things Trump, the human being most likely to do serious hard time is Mr. Eastman. And it's richly deserved, and it's all documented. And no person of integrity and goodwill can deny it. It's all there. He knew he was lying. He knew Trump was lying. Trump knew Trump was lying. And yet they persisted. And some of you persist in telling me it's no big deal. It's no big deal, really? If it's not a big deal, then what is a big deal? You know, along with inciting an armed insurrection at our Capitol whose purpose was to overthrow the government of the United States. Do you have any idea how foolish you sound when you tell anybody with a double-digit IQ that it's no big deal? Apparently, you don't even believe in the concept of democracy. And can you imagine a more selfish act than dragging the country through this, knowing full well you were lying and that you had set the stage for your lying 4 months before the 2020 presidential election? That is not a patriotic act. And now here we are inside 3 weeks as we come up to the midterm elections. And here, right here in Texas, very predictably, we already have Republican election officials forcing solutions in search of a problem. Do we never learn anything? Tell you something I learned last night, or at least it was reinforced. I'm a big believer that just because something gets off to a rocky start, it doesn't have to stay rocky. You know, your morning gets off to a bad start, don't give up on the day. Don't ever give up on anything. And in evidence, V for victory, V for Verlander. Man, that guy got off to a bumpy start last night. He threw 45 pitches in the first 2 innings, and you were wondering what was going on. And then he got it together, and he was dominant, striking out 11 and retiring the last 11 batters he faced. There is a life lesson there. Stay with it. And this was an interesting stat. Okay, so Verlander got 11 Ks, but the Astros pitching staff finished with 17. Astros hitters struck out exactly twice. That 15 differential, that is the largest single game difference in Major League Baseball postseason history. I loved it. Now, Stros, do it again. Okay, Spurs fans, here's the thing. We've had the suite. So we got to kind of cowboy up here and just kind of bring our sense of humor and our patience to what we're going to see this year. Okay, and you got to look at it in terms of developing this team for the future. But right now, those teenagers need our love, not our scorn. If you were to ask me, what is the least respected franchise in the NFL right now? It's got to be the Arizona Cardinals. They are so disorganized. They are so unprofessional. And yes, Cliffy is in trouble. I want to mention this. Charlie Trippy, one of the most versatile football players in the history of the sport, recently passed away at the age of 100. If you're not familiar with Charlie Trippy, you need to be. He played at Georgia, and he was one of the most versatile players college football has ever seen. And then he went on to the NFL with the Chicago Cardinals, who later became the St. Louis Cardinals, who later became the Phoenix Cardinals, who later became the Arizona Cardinals. And he won the NFL championship in 1947. That is the last time the Cardinals franchise has won anything, and that was 75 years ago, and he had a great line. When he was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1968, he concluded his speech by saying, "I'm glad I played football." Those of us who love football are very glad that Charlie Trippy played football. All right, I want to touch on the Brady thing again. It's clear he's going through a rough time. He's done some stupid stuff. That remark the other day comparing the start of an NFL season to military deployment was just a facepalm moment. But he has taken way too much crap for calling out his offensive line on the sidelines last Sunday against the Steelers. I don't know how to break this to you. It happens. That's what quarterbacks do, particularly when they're respected. And yes, he did drop some F-bombs. I don't know how to tell you this, but I'm pretty sure it's not the first time his offensive linemen have heard that word and that series of words used in all 8 parts of speech. Get on him when he's got it coming, but there was nothing wrong with that. And as a matter of fact, he has received support from his offensive line, who said, that's the way I want him to lead us. Just something to think about. Go Stros, have a great Thursday. We're radically rational.